In ancient China exists a mystical realm known as Peach Blossom Land. A lone fisherman found it one day centuries ago while following the Blue River, until it came to an end, disappearing behind tall mountains. He passed through a narrow opening in the mountain and there saw only the happy faces of contented people, the air and earth scented with delicate peach blossom petals. All lived in harmony and joy in this idyllic and timeless place, and knew not of the outside world of the traveler now amongst them. Welcome to yours truly, Tai Chi, and today on the show, I have Julia and Rachel with me today to bring in the next line, which is our line 3. It's a kind of an exciting line, and we have a message today about coming home to the light, using your own light.
Come home to your true nature.
Come home to your true nature by using the light. Isn't that wonderful? That's what Tai Chi is all about. Okay, so today's show is dedicated to the very well-known actress Mary Jo Pehl, who was the evil girl who wanted to rule the world from Mystery Science Theater 3000, from the exciting TV series. And so, are we ready, gang?
Yeah.
All right? Yay! All right. So we have some warm-ups because we're going to be changing things around today. Let's start with our hands today. So Spirit Horse is going to get an apple today. So we're going to stretch the fingers out. And then this is kind of a little bit, I hope you can see, I'm going to make sure my fingers are where you can see them. So it's not that your hands are going to be this high, but I want you to see my fingers. So I'm stretching and making this little, it's actually traditionally called a plum blossom fist, but we're calling it picking the apple for Spirit Horse, okay? Everything in the Spirit Horse program relates to something equine, all right? For all of our horse lovers out there. Okay, so it's real simple, and that's going to show up in the form. So just practice when you're home. Very good for your fingers. Did you know that all of your fingers are hardwired to your internal organs? So every time you stretch your fingers, you're actually helping to stimulate your internal organs. It's really good stuff. Okay, thanks, girls. All right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the neck, because we have another move that really requires us to turn the neck and use our eyes. So we're going to do that right now, girls, and I know you already know this, so we'll just drop the head down and look up. And the reason that we're doing this in this particular fashion is so that the people at home that may have neck constraints or mild neck pain can do this without any problems. Okay, it's also very good if you work at your desk all day in front of the computer. But these are just, and you don't do a lot. We did a little bit more. You can just do 3 of them is fine. Okay, good. Alrighty, so neck rolls, and they're going to show up really soon. All right, so the next thing we have to go over for today is this little bracing stance that we have, because we have to practice stepping forward and backward. So we're going to step in. And in our last episode, I'm just going to pull my little ankles up here, my pant leg ankles. We're going to step back, and I'm going to turn to the side now, and the girls will stay forward. But you can see how I'm stepping. I'm right within my normal range of motion, and if you see my knee is just above my leg, so I have no strain on my knee whatsoever. And we just practice rolling back and stretching out the calf, okay? And back and forward, and back and forward. And what this is a very mild, low impact, but it plays a huge part in our Spirit Horse program. Okay? So now we'll just hook step that foot in and pivot out, and we'll do it on the other side, and we'll just do a couple of those. And that way, if your knees are warmed up, when you go to even go for a walk, even if you're not doing Tai Chi, or if you're going out to the garden, if you have to climb a lot of stairs, or sit all day, or have a long drive, you won't be in as much pain or stiffness. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay this way, and maybe you girls could stay the way you are, and then the audience will have an extra view. So what's going to happen a little bit later on in the form is I'm going to be stepping back, and that's a little bit too wide. You want to step back just where it's comfortable. And at the same time we do that, I'm going to actually be pulling my hands up and pushing. So it actually is like you're pushing a horse or a cart or something up the hill. So if I step back and did that, this is how I'm going to look from the front. So for now, let's just practice stepping back. And again, remember that we're not stepping outside of our normal range. So we always have the safety factor of good balance. We're going to step up again, step back, and pretty much that's going to be the move that we're going to do. Okay, and we're going to step up, and we're going to come back again. Good, excellent. Okay, so you have a mild stretch in the hips as well. Our other fun little hand position for today is this wrist cross, because when we come out of line 2, we're going to be like this, and we're going to step up into this wrist cross, and we're going to be doing this. One time though, so for now, we're just going to loosen up the wrists. Okay, so if you type a lot, this is good for you. Okay, and then from here, we just form this big circle as the hands come down, and this is when the hands lift up and we step back. So that's this little portion that we're doing with the hands, and we just step back. And that way you'll be comfortable when we actually get to it. We're going to take the components apart in just a second. Okay, so we have a wrist. Remember that when we do this, the arms are not coming up really high. And we actually form this little orb low, and it comes up. So you all know what the energy orb is by this time if you've been watching the show. So those are our little warm-ups, and now we'll take ourselves into the components of line 3. So what's going to happen, the hardest part of line 3 is when we have to open that paddock. So if you remember, we just did this little step where we pushed, right? We're going to wind up, however, so we're breaking the components down right now. We're going to wind up in this position. So let's just get there, and our feet are not too far apart, so we feel stable, and the knees are always flexed, and we're going to wind up with, our hands are going to be like so. So we're going to wind up like this. You can stay right where you are, it's fine. And we're going to be opening up and following the hand with the eyes, and then looking and then making that apple, okay? And then we're going to change, and we're going to open this way and make the apple. And we're going to do the same thing. This is the hardest part. So we want to try to have the body aligned at all times. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back, I'm not forward. I'm always sunk down in the center of my body. So my body works very, very efficiently. Now the thing about Tai Chi is because you have to concentrate so much and you're moving nice and slow and you really are looking at your hands, that kind of focus increases mental function. So it's one of the nicest things to do when you have to think very hard during the day, or if you have been under a lot of stress, or you have a lot of worry. You just take yourself off, and even if you do a couple of little moves, you don't even have to do the whole form. It just starts to get rid of some of the tension. Okay, so I have to ask my gang, my team here, do you have any questions about what we just did?
I think we're good.
Think you're okay?
Yeah.
All right, so what's going to happen in this set for the viewers at home is it requires me to make a lot of movements on the set in front of the camera, and I'm going to have to turn around, and the girls are going to have to move behind me. So you'll see a little bit of scrambling, but that's okay because that's how you're going to learn the form. So I think, girls, what we'll do is we'll start Spirit Horse from the top, from line 1, line 2, and then we'll come into line 3, okay? So here we go. So we have our first energy orb with a nice breath. We're going to step to our left, and we roll the hands down, and we do it a second time. And we're going to be pivoting again to our left. As we hold up the saddle, we roll away from the horse. We get an energy orb, and we bring it down to the center. And here's our first pause. And we're in the spirit horse stance, and we're going to pivot to our right, frame out, holding up the horse, rolling back, getting that energy orb coming back down. And now we come into the next pause. We're going to step in with that left foot and come into the inside empty stance. Pause a moment. Now we're going to step back with the left foot. As spirit horse spreads its wings, we do the same thing on this side. We step back with the right foot. Girls, if you got any better, you'd get wings like spirit horse. Aren't they great? Here's another little pause. Now we're going to step forward and offer spirit horse that lump of sugar. And we're going to pull down, and we have to do that to the other side. And we're going to come into another inside empty, bringing the right foot in close to the left foot. And we are up on our heels, and if you can't do that, keep your feet flat. We're going to hold the saddle, and we're going to step out and roll forward. Soothing spirit horse, and now we're going to hold the saddle, and now here we go with that change. So you're going to see me make that change. So we're going to step again to the left, our left, and we're going to soothe spirit horse. And now we're going to break a second because I have to change. So girls, if you want to come down to this side a little bit. Okay, so we have finished soothing spirit horse, and here we go. We're going to step up into that right inside empty. Here's our little wrist cross. Rotate the wrist out, step out to your right slightly. As spirit horse flies over the sun, we have a low orb. We're going to step into a left inside empty, lifting up, and here's that step back. As we push the horse, now I'm going to make another change, okay? So you girls are going to have to move down a little bit. Thanks. That way you can follow me, and we'll just come right over here. We're just going to change places. And now we're going to open up the paddock, and we're going to pick a horse. And we're going to pick an apple for the horse, not pick a horse. If only horses did grow on trees, right? And we're going to open the paddock and pick an apple. Okay, that was our trial run. Okay, are we all right?
Yeah.
They're so wonderful. Okay, so let's do that one more time, and then I think that's the end of our show for today. All right, so here we go. We're going to take it all the way from the top. So here we are. Okay, pivoting to our left, rolling away from the horse, getting a little energy orb there. Every time we do that, we actually gain a little bit of energy. And one more time, rolling away. Remember that spirit horse is a bilateral program, so everything we do to the left, we do to the right. Okay, we're going to step in. We step back with our left foot as spirit horse spreads its wings. We step back with the right foot. And these are small steps. They don't have to be big. Traditional Tai Chi is much bigger, but not spirit horse. Okay, feeding spirit horse a lump of sugar. Feeding spirit horse another lump of sugar. Holding the saddle, we're in a right inside empty stance, bringing the right foot in, okay? We're going to step out and roll forward and soothe spirit horse and hold the saddle. Stepping to the left slightly, we're going to roll forward, soothing the horse. Okay, now here's where I'm going to jump ahead. All right, everybody, just follow me. And we're going to come up to that right inside empty, crisscrossing the wrists. As Spirit Horse looks over the sun and flies over the sun. And now we have another little set. We have to scramble around again so everybody can follow. Okay, so now we step back with the left foot, and it's just a little step back. We're going to open the paddock and pick an apple for Spirit Horse. And we're going to push in this bracing stance, and we're going to open the paddock gate and pick the apple for Spirit Horse. And that is a wrap for today, and I want to thank everybody for joining us on Yours Truly Tai Chi. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. I want to thank Rachel and Julia for being with me. They were fabulous. Yay! And the camera crew, Artie and Emily. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. All right, have a really magical day now. Take care.